Hi DG. What's up, Dark Dark? Thanks for joining, guys. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. What's up, DG? What's up, Lucky Star? Dark Dark, what's up? Please give me blue. DG, what do you mean blue? Which blue? What do you mean blue, DG? Hi, Eli. Thanks for joining. Is it Eli or Eli? Eli. What's that your name, bro? Eli. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like. W's in the charts, 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 W's in the charts. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like chat. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like. W's in the charts. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. I'm a streamer from Nigeria, Africa. I stream from Nigeria. This game my ex, but it's actually yeah. It's 10:06 p.m. Yeah, 10:06 p.m. W's in the charts, W's in the chat, W's in the chat. Subscribe and like, subscribe and like, subscribe and like. That's too easy. W's in the charts, W's in the charts, W's in the charts, W's in the charts. W's in the charts, W's in the charts, W's in the charts. My crazy stalker back. Who is your crazy stalker, bro? W's in the charts, W's in the charts. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like, subscribe and like. W's in the charts, W's in the charts, W's in the charts. W's in the charts, W's in the charts, W's in the charts. W's in the charts, W's in the charts, W's in the charts, W's in the charts, W's in the charts. Bro, what are you saying? Hi, Daniel. What's up, bro? How you doing? What the fuck, bro? What are you saying? Hi, Daniel. Thanks for joining. How you doing? How was your day? Happy weekend. Happy weekend, bro. I'm in US. Wow, Daniel, you just traveling from UK to France to US. W's in the chat. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like. Hi, Sadia. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, Sadia. How are you doing? Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like. When? Really? You coming to Nigeria? I'm not sure, bro. Coming to Nigeria. Really? Nah, bro, you strolling. W's in the chat. 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 I'm back. Thanks for coming back. Daniel, how are you doing? You are in the US. What are you doing in the US? Bro, what are you doing in the US, bro? In Fortnite. You are number one in everything, Lucky Star. Daniel, you play Fortnite US. I know your friend. You know speed. I don't know what bro is saying. Bro, what are you saying? Hi TN, thanks for joining TN. TN, how was your day? How you doing? Happy weekend, my bro. Thanks for joining, my bro. Wa alaikum salam TN. Thanks for doing. How was your day? I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm fine, I'm chilling. I'm just here chilling. Just chilling. What's up? You seem upset. I'm just cool, my bro. I'm just cool. I'm just cool streaming. Just here. I'm just here, bro. It's 10:70 p.m. here in Nigeria. 10:70 p.m. here in Nigeria. Oh, the same time as UK. Yeah, we use the same time as UK. That's crazy. We use the same time as UK. Doing I see. Bro, I want to stream. I don't want to sleep. I want to stream. No, bro, I don't want to stream. I want to stream. I want to stream. I have not streamed today. I need to stream. If I don't stream, my channel will not get monetized. There's one, two people, yeah. Yeah, only two, yeah. It's cool. Even if there's nobody, I will keep streaming. Even if there's nobody, bro, I will keep streaming. W's in the chat, W's in the chat, W's in the chat. You should do something, make people wanna watch you. What should I do? I don't have game. Should I be playing games? But I don't have game. Instead of just sitting there. I love sitting, that's why. I love sitting, TN. TN, I love sitting. I said instead of just sitting. Stream while you work out. Yeah, I will start down soon. That's one song. S does. He has 100 viewers. Yeah, I will start soon. I will start soon, honestly. I will start soon. I will start streaming while I work out soon. I'm 25, bro. I'm 25, bro. What do you do? I stream, bro. I'm a streamer. I will start streaming by next week. Maybe by next week or two. I'm from Nigeria, Ronaldo 7. What I do? Bro, I do anything. If you have anything that you, any work that you, no, I don't have a job. I don't have a job. I do any work. Do any work. I just do any work. I get paid. Yeah, if there's work, I will do. If there's no work, I will just sit. There's no job here in Nigeria. I'm a streamer. I stream every day. By next week, inshallah, or next 2 week, I'll start streaming while I work out. I don't know, maybe inshallah, by God's grace. It's 10:20 p.m. here in Nigeria. 10:20 p.m. here in Nigeria. I'm streaming from Nigeria, Africa. W's in the chat, W's in the chat, W's in the chat, W's in the chat, W's in the chat. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like. Yeah, I stream only on YouTube. I don't have good network. That's why I don't stream on other platform. I stream only on YouTube. W's in the chat, W's in the chat. Do you wanna be a full-time streamer? Yeah, I wanna be a full-time streamer. I don't have good network yet. That's why I would have been streaming for maybe 15 or 10 hours a day. I want to be a full-time streamer. Honestly, I want to be a full-time streamer, bro. Streaming is what I want to be doing. See you around, bro. Good luck. Need to get some sleep. Got headache. All right, Ronaldo. Subscribe and like Ronaldo. Before you go, subscribe and like Ronaldo 7. Before you go, my bro, subscribe and like. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. You're not gonna make it if you just stream on YouTube and just sit on the chat. Bro, I know, I know that, I know that. It's just me, yeah. I know. I'll when I maybe in time. My phone is not even that good, so if I get a good phone now, I'll do some other stuff. Yeah, yeah, I know what I'll do, but I just need to get a good network. I don't have game. I would have been playing game, so a lot of things. But inshallah, I will with time, bro. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do about it, but it's just the money. It's just the money. I need a good network and I need a game. I have a good setup. I'll just get a good network and a game, then I'll start. Chat. Sorry guys, network is bad. That's why I have a very bad network. That's why. Sorry guys. Sorry guys for the disturbance. We don't have good network here in Nigeria. That's why. W's in the chat. 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 Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. The Union. Hi, the Union. Thanks for joining. The Union 1962. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like. I'm a streamer from Nigeria. I stream from Nigeria, Africa. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. W's in the chat. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like if you are just joining. Prince, Prince will too. No job. Yeah, my job is to stream. I'm a streamer, bro. Prince, is it Prince Will? Prince Will too. I'm a streamer, bro. Thanks for joining. How are you doing? How are you doing? Thanks for joining. I'm streaming from Nigeria, Africa. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like, my bro. Subscribe and like. Thanks for the support, Prince Will too. Where are you watching from, my bro? I'm streaming from Nigeria, Africa. I'm streaming from Nigeria. I stream every day. I'm a streamer. I stream every day, bro. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. W's in the chat. 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 W's in the chat.